Hey, this week I want to talk about ways of thinking that keep us stuck. These are roadblocks to healthy thinking. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the one I release next month, part 2. And these are roadblocks to healthy thinking by Texas Institute of Behavioral Research. The first one is, but everyone was doing it. That's called rationalization. Rationalization is when we try to excuse ourselves before from our actions and responsibility. We think of explanations that seem fit or seem logical to explain our decisions and behaviors. We look at the outcome before our actions or a conclusion we have reached. Then we pull evidence out of the air that we think will explain everything while allowing us to look good in the eyes of others. We often use rationalization in an attempt to justify our bad behavior. Someone's gotta pay. This is blaming. Blaming with our errors and how we think about the things that happen in the world and things that happen, and blaming other people. We try to convince ourselves that our own damage is caused by somebody, or that someone's intentionally setting to hunt us. Someone's intentionally trying, and this just focuses us on pointing the finger instead of the solution. By blaming others, we don't have to consider our role in it. Be responsible for our own actions and responsibility. Blaming others often is a backhanded way of trying to excuse our own behavior. I just don't understand. So confusion is another roadblock. When we don't want to face a situation, we may think that if we appear puzzled or confused to others, they will let us off the hook. For example, we may say we just don't understand the question or the assignment and not pay attention when someone's trying to help us out. This way of thinking allows us to pretend to be confused, and then all these assignments, rules, and expectations. And if we're confused, then we think we can roll off meeting obligations or taking responsibility for ourselves. You may also use confusion when you want to avoid taking full responsibility for things that we did in the past. For example, someone claiming not to remember or to be confused why, and they pretend to be confused why they're facing consequences, or why their probation was revoked, or why we failed at an exam, or why we didn't get a job, whatever it may be. Next one is, oh, he did that just to piss me off. Making assumptions about other people's thoughts, feelings, or motives are ways of thinking that allows us to justify our resentment, insecurities, and paranoia. Rather than checking out the facts by asking others about their feelings or intentions, we go with our own assumptions, which are usually negative and blaming. The payoff is that we can righteously overreact and behave badly without being bothered by the truth of a situation. We use assumptions to justify our behavior and to avoid taking responsibility for jumping to conclusions. It was just one lousy beer. That's minimizing. This way of thinking can be summarized as making a molehill out of a mountain. When we minimize, we attempt to make others believe that a big screw up wasn't really a big deal. Usually the words just and only are attempts to minimize actions. When we minimize, we are usually attempting to avoid or reduce the consequences of our behavior. The payoff is, if we believe our own minimize, is that we don't have to feel any remorse or be accountable and amend our actions. And the last one of this part 1 of roadblocks to healthy thinking is, I deserve to get another chance. That's entitlement. This way of thinking allows us to feel that somehow we're better or more deserving or deserve special treatment than others. In other words, we allow ourselves to believe that the rules just don't apply to us because we are unique and therefore entitled to special consideration. And we might think that everything should be made easy for us and we shouldn't have to put any effort toward our goals. When we are thinking involves entitlement, we believe that we should not have to pay the consequences for our mistakes, poor decisions, and lack of effort. So I hope to see you in part 2 of this series of roadblocks to healthy thinking, and comment below if you have any of these roadblocks, and it's okay. What matters is that we're bringing to our awareness what we're not aware of that we're doing so we can change it. So don't be so harsh on yourself if you spot any of this. Actually celebrate it with me and comment below. And this is just the first step with intention and change. See you in part 2. You can tune into yourself, learn to cope and understand yourself, and change the story of your life. I hope you can join us on the other side. Start today with a clear path by empowering yourself through learning. I share everything that works at bossofmyfeelings.com. I hope this was helpful and have an amazing rest of your day. Take care.